What up, B Squad? It's your boy JB, and I am here from work to talk to you guys about Beyond the Gates, you guys. So I know you guys saw the live that Really B and I did. Great time, love, getting on live with her to discuss Beyond the Gates. Now, this is just for me, for my channel, because just to have something up with it. So we are going to be discussing last week, which I was going to do this video yesterday, but I slept all day yesterday, so it is what it is. But this is week 33. This is episodes 154, I believe, through 158. And last week, not a whole lot really transpired. So, excuse me, I don't think we're going to be on here like super duper long, but yeah. But before I get into the video, if you guys are watching this video or any of the video on the channel, and you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me on this date and then having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, you guys, and also by sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us discuss Beyond the Gates, shall we? All right, you guys, so you guys also may hear my washing machine. I'm washing. It's like 9:45 in the morning. So my goal is for you guys to see this video at 11 a.m. or 11:30 before I go live for Baddies Africa. And then later on today, we will be going live for the newest episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac, you guys. Hey. But let's talk about Beyond the Gates. Now, Monday's episode, it wasn't really a whole lot that we got in this episode. We just mostly saw, now, remember at the end of the episode on Friday, the week before, that is when Nicole and Ted were in his hotel room, right? And remember, Dana, Leslie, Sherry, Anna, and Lulu, they all pulled the fire alarm, right? And we didn't see what happened because it went off after that. So Monday's episode opened with Ted sending Nicole some flowers. And we see Laura was back as well as Mona, right? So Laura is being nosy, asking who are the flowers from. Both Laura and Mona kind of think that they're from Carlton. But Nicole's like, no, they're not from Carlton. They're actually from Ted. And, Ted and I Ted and I were together last night, right? And I was like, ooh, what did you and Ted do last night? Girl, they didn't do shit. She hugged Ted, and that was the gist of it. Because then crazy lady, she pulled the fire alarm, and that's what we got. Nothing happened, right? But Ted sent her flowers, thanking her for last night. And I was like, again, Ted, nothing happened. But the problem that I have with Ted is that it feels like Ted is, I guess, kind of like used to getting his way, so that way he, when something doesn't go his way, he's not like, because he's not doing anything to fight for his marriage. And then we see Ted over at Orphan Jeans, and Ted is having a conversation with Eva about what happened with him and Nicole. And I was like, why are you having a conversation with Eva of all people? Granted, I know Eva is his daughter, but my problem is when it comes to Eva, Eva talks about how she wants to see him and Nicole happy and together, but you don't really do a good job of showing that, because what my problem is with you is, you know who your mother is, right? You know who Leslie, Anna, Lulu, Sherry, and Dana are. But then it's like you still try to defend her sometimes. And that is my problem with her. Because Ted even told her what happened with, the fire alarm. And we see her as she went to go see her mama and confront her mama about it. It's like, girl, you know who your mama is. Hold for a second. All right, you guys, my bad. So we're back. So back to what I was saying, Eva. Y'all know I don't see it for Eva 100% because I just think that when it comes to Eva, it's like she wants to play devil's advocate for her mother when her mother is a shitty person, in my personal opinion. But hey, neither here nor there. So, speaking of her mama, we saw her mama down at Orphan Jeans with headphones on, just jamming out. I was like, ma'am, that would be me. because when I go out to eat, like I do take my, like on Friday nights when I do go out to eat, I do have my headphones on, but I don't be jamming. Well, sometimes I do. Most times I be watching something, like I'll be watching Beyond the Gates or whatever. But girl, you doing the most. But Danny and Andre were down at the country club, right? Because they went and played a round of golf, and Andre was like, "Whatever you do, do not turn around and look at the person that's behind you." She's like, "Who is it, Haley?" He was like, "Ugh." So she turned around and she said, "Oh, it's the other home wrecking hoe." I said, "Not the home wrecking hoe." It took everything, because Dan was like, he was like, "We're not gonna say anything to her, right?" And she was like, "No, we actually have decorum over here." But then she got to the point where she said, "Decorum, the hell with decorum." And she went over there, but before she could go over there, Anita and Vernon called her over to the house because they want to have a conversation with she and Andre about their marriage, right? And here's my thing: they're not hurting anybody. It's upsetting Bill, which, in my personal opinion, I don't care. Do I think Danny is going to get hurt from this situation with Andre? No. Do I think Andre's going to get hurt in this situation with Danny? Quite possibly, right? I do believe that that's going to happen. So, yeah, we can move on. Now, we move on to Tuesday. And we see as Haley was at Uptown and she was meeting her cousin Randy, right? So she's meeting up with Randy. You know, they're pretending like this is the first time that they saw each other since the miscarriage, right? And so remember, Haley also asked for something slow that is untraceable to, wipe out Bill. So that's what Randy is there for as well. And then what else do we have? While they were talking, in walked Vanessa and Danny. So Danny saw him and she was like, "Oh, that's Sammy." And Vanessa's like, "His name isn't Sammy, it's Randy." And I was like, "Ooh," you could see the wheels turning in Danny's head. And I was like, "Come on, Danny, you gonna put everything together." Now, we also saw in this episode where Joey is asking Randy, like, "So what's going on between you and the Mrs. Hamilton?" And it's so weird. So he says that they're having an affair, and I was like, "That's your cousin. So how y'all gonna play that off like y'all having an affair? How you gonna play that off? Like you could have said anything outside of saying you're having an affair with her." But okay, very weird to me. But if you like it, I love it. I really don't, but hey, go for it. Now, we got a crossover in Tuesday and Friday's episode. So, Ridge Forrester from Bold and the Beautiful, portrayed by Thorsten Kaye, who I love Thorsten. I am familiar with Thorsten from All My Children as Zack Slater. Oh, I used to love me some Zack Slater. And I'm just recently getting into Bold and the Beautiful, and I'm realizing that Ridge ain't shit. Going from Taylor to what's the other girl's name? Y'all can leave it in the comments if you know. But neither here nor there. So Ridge called Pamela with an offer, right? And he called him with an offer. Scratch that. He called Pamela with an offer, right? And the offer for Pamela is for the offer is that he wants, which now you guys have to chime in and let me know what Forrester Creations does. But I guess Forrester Creations has this fragrance line that they want both Danny and Andre to be the models for, right? Pamela is excited. Now, I noticed in the chat of the live with Really BNI that a lot of you guys are saying that this accent that Pamela has that goes in and out is transatlantic. And I was like, okay, I still don't. Pamela's accent still irks me and irritates my soul and my spirit, but neither here nor there. I'm not even going to delve deep into that because, like I said on the live with Really B, when it comes to Pamela's accent at this point, I just ignore it. I hear it, but I don't pay too much attention to it. So then we see as Bill is still having Andre followed. And I'm just like, here's my thing when it comes to Bill. I get that you will want, I get that, Danny is, I'm not going to use air quotes because Danny is the mother of your children. but your daughters are grown. So it's not like Chelsea and Naomi live under her roof and you have to co-parent with Danny. So I don't understand this whole need for what you're doing. It just doesn't, to me, it doesn't make logical sense, right? I would understand it more if it was someone like a Randy that you didn't really know and you were wondering, okay, is he out for, personal gain when it comes to Danny? But Andre. Andre like grew up around the family, so I don't really understand where you're coming from. I do know where you're coming from. It's nothing but pure jealousy. And that's really all I got with that. But again, feel free to drop down in the comments and let me know what you guys think. Now, moving on to Wednesday. Wednesday's episode, we see Leslie. So Leslie is at the country club, right? Her and Peaches. Another thing with Peaches. Can we do something better with Peaches' wig? Because I hate, detest, despise that wig. It's the worst looking wig I've ever saw in my life. So I'm curious to see where we go with Leslie because Leslie is at the country club, right? So she and Peaches bump into Nicole. And when they bumped into Nicole, Leslie is on this whole diatribe about, I'm going to be the new Mrs. Richardson, da 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 da. And I'm like, and she's talking about the fact that Nicole divorced him. You just said the key word in that sentence. She divorced him, not the other way around. So I don't understand why you feel that coming at Nicole like this would do, like, what does it do for you? Does it make you feel that good about yourself that you destroyed her marriage? Not single-handedly, but you blew up her marriage with a secret from 20 plus years ago. And you're talking about being a new Mrs. Richardson, but if Ted really wanted you, he would have divorced Nicole then, got with you, and raised Eva with you. But he didn't. And even when you came back to town, he still didn't pick up where he left off with you. So I don't know where in your warped mind you have come up with it and concocted this whole scenario that Ted is going to be yours. So Nicole basically told her, okay, well, you know what? Good luck, Leslie. If you're going to be the new Mrs. Richardson, I wish you nothing but luck. But she also told her, going forward, nothing you say or do can affect or bother me. And I was like, come on, Nicole. Now, while they're at the country club, Peaches, they sat down for dinner. Leslie is pissed off, talking about the salad ain't good. I'm like, no, ma'am. The salad is fine, because Peaches said that her salad was fine. The problem is you didn't get any satisfaction from fucking with Nicole for the umpteenth time. That's where your problem comes in. That's where the problem comes in with you. And I'm just like, what is the end goal with you? They're now divorced. So I just don't really get it when it comes to Leslie. Now, speaking of Leslie, let's talk about her daughter. So Eva was at Uptown, right? So Eva is in a booth by herself, and then you see a guy across from her, and he's doing some work, but he's being extremely loud. So it turns out this guy his name is Isaiah, right? And Isaiah just moved back to the DMV area. His family, when it comes to his family, he didn't follow the trajectory that his family wanted him to follow because he is a counselor and he's applying for a job at Banneker. Now, Banneker, that is the school that Deanna and Donnell go to, as well as Vernon teaches at, right? I was like, okay, Banneker, cool. So we also found out in this episode, I think we actually found out in Tuesday's episode, but it was more prevalent towards the end of the week, that Naomi's not pregnant. And here's my thing when it comes to Naomi not being pregnant. I'm not upset about Naomi not being pregnant. I'm not upset that Naomi is thrilled that she's not pregnant, right? The problem that I have now is with Naomi. It feels as if Naomi wants to pick an issue with Jacob, because the things that she's talking to Jacob about is like, but Jacob didn't say those things. You're putting words in his mouth. So that's where I'm not happy when it comes to Naomi. And also when it comes to Jacob, I wasn't happy with Jacob feeling like he was trying to persuade her to have a baby that she didn't want to have. Like I said in the last review, I would prefer that she didn't have a baby if she knows that she's not going to be, the kind of mother that a baby needs. Attentive, all those attentive, nurturing, caring, provider, all those kind of things, right? And I'm saying that, but a father should provide those things as well. But but my thing is, well, like I said last time, is I wouldn't want her to regret, neglect, abuse, do anything like that negatively towards the baby. You want all positive things for the baby. Now, you guys can tell me what you think and what you feel, and we'll move on to Thursday. So we get to Thursday. And we see as Kat and Tomas went to the hospital. So Kat believes that she broke Tomas's penis after they had sex, right? And we also saw as Martin came down there. I love the little banter with she and Martin when she said, "Have you ever broke Smitty's penis?" And he was like, "Whoa, huh?" So he's like, "Wow, my little sister the freak. Who would have thought it, right?" But she's still trying to figure out what she likes. But I don't think you like when it comes to Kat. I know people are calling Kat a pick me. I don't think it's pick me, right? I said it on a live, would really be. The problem with Kat is it's not the fact that Kat is a pick me. It's the fact that Kat is like a kid. Think about kids, right? And think about kids who have toys and they don't like sharing, right? Say when you have, because I was kind of guilty of this as a little boy. Sometimes guilty of it, sometimes. It depends on if I liked you. If I liked you, I would let you play with my toys. If I didn't like you and you play with my toys, then yes, I was going to find any reason to make you not play with my toys, right? So, yeah. What was I saying? Oh, back to what I was saying. So, get back to that. So, it's like a kid with a toy that they're not playing with. Kat has Tomas, who she doesn't really like. And so, in a toy analogy, again, with a kid with a toy that they're not playing with, right? When someone else someone else picks up that toy and starts to play with it, that kid starts to feel away. And so then they now want to play with that toy. That is what Tomas is to Kat. I'm not saying that Tomas is a toy, but I'm saying Tomas is something that Kat doesn't 100% want, but at the same time, she doesn't 100% want Eva to play with her toy as well. And that's where I think we are at with that one, right? Now, moving on to Haley real quick. We see Haley as she is trying to put her plan into motion when it comes to Bill. So we see her with this little vial and she's putting droplets in his drinks, right? And I'm like, Haley, you're being a little suspicious and then the way that you continuously want him to eat things and drink things, to me, that would be a red flag, but I guess not to Bill. Now, also, Haley is trying to find this $10 million life insurance policy, right? So she was on the phone with Randy, but Bill came in and asked her who she was on the phone with. She says it was Caroline, and Caroline was looking for a file. So then Bill got on the phone with Caroline, and he asked her if she found the file, and Haley took the phone and was like, "Girl, we're getting our wires crossed over here. Bill thought I was talking about you when I was looking for a file." So Bill went into the office. Haley followed behind, right? So Haley and told Bill and Caroline to go on about their business. But Caroline came back with some tea, and Haley called her a little nosy biatch. And I was like, well, I mean, that is her job, right? So Haley was on the computer, and she found the life insurance policy. Now, Tyrell and Samantha, quickly get into them. We saw them at Orphan Jeans. We know Samantha is building a relationship with June, and it looks like Tyrell is slowly but surely coming around to June. I'm cool with that. Semi-cool with that. Semi-cool with that. But neither here nor there. We also saw as Tyrell had a conversation with Jessica, and, it looked like he and Jessica are back on good terms with each other. Now, we'll pause here and move on to Friday, you guys. So with Friday was a slow episode, so nothing significant happened in Friday's episode. The main thing that I got out of Friday's episode was the Chelsea stuff as well as Danny calling. So we'll start with that one real quick. So Danny called up Ridge to let Ridge know, hey, we're gonna have to decline this offer. Now I forgot to mention that this is a dream fashion house that Danny's always wanted to work with, but they never wanted to work with her. But Andre still doesn't want to do it, and so Danny was like, you know what? Since my husband doesn't want to do it, then I'm gonna go along with what my husband wants and respect his wishes, right? And we also saw as Danny met up with Joey, basically to tell Joey, stay away from my friend. And he was, he kind of called her bluff. So now we have a bet between Danny and what's his name? Danny and Joey about how long she and Andre are going to stay married to each other. He doesn't see it lasting a year. She says they will make it to their year anniversary. I beg to differ. I don't think they're going to make it to their year anniversary as well. So then the last thing we'll talk about is Chelsea and Madison. So Chelsea and Madison are out on a date with each other, right? And Madison got a text message from her mother, or a message from her mother, right? And there are some issues between she and her mother. Her mother doesn't necessarily respect her profession, how she goes about doing things. To me, it sounded like her mama might be in a cult, because she's like, her mother is easily influenced by things that she sees online and stuff, right? So I'm like, so your mama could be potentially in a cult, right? So what happens is that her mother goes into her posts on social media and with her patients and tries to give them like holistic or other routes for medicine. And I'm like, that is so weird. Why would you undermine your daughter and her profession and how she makes money? That is so fucking weird to me. Because she said her patients end up leaving after that. I would too. I don't blame them. So Chelsea decides that she wants to get involved. So she put a post on her social media asking her people, like, should she intervene or should she leave it alone? Overwhelmingly, the people told her leave it alone, but she's like, nah, fam, I'm gonna do this. I was like, Chelsea, that's gonna be a problem in your relationship with Madison. Madison told you not to get involved, but instead you want to now get involved. That's gonna be some issues there. But that's the end of the week, you guys. So be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video. And until the next time, stay safe, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next one, you guys. So next up will be the Baddies Africa reunion. This weekend for Beyond the Gates, I have to get with Really B to figure out what time works for her and what day works for her, because you guys know, well, you guys might not know. So this Friday afternoon, actually it's Friday morning, I'm leaving. I leave Dallas early Friday morning to go to Atlanta for the Brandy and Monica concert this Friday. So excited. So I'm going there for the Brandy and Monica concert. But I will be back home Saturday. I'll be back home Saturday afternoon. But I don't leave my hotel until. I don't have to leave my hotel until about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. So I'll see what's gonna work for Really B. But I will land back in Texas about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the 1 to 2 in the afternoon. So we'll see. But yeah, you guys, that's all I got. I'm gonna hop off of here and get back to work, and I will see you guys. But you guys will get a pre-recorded video from me as well. So I don't know when it's gonna be, but you guys will get a pre-recorded video to tide you guys over until Really B and I go live this weekend. But I'll see you guys then.